right, my friends, welcome back to the I Was Born to Do This podcast, a podcast for leaders, authors, entrepreneurs, people who are out moving mountains, changing the world. And today I'm sitting here in this cozy house in Sedona, Arizona, with one of the most extraordinary women I've ever met.
Whoa!
I know.
Oh, she didn't see that coming.
This is Robyn Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Most of you know her as Robyn Warner on Instagram, but her new author name is going to go to her
Maiden
name of Williams.
I'm just honestly too lazy to change my passport because I keep going to Mexico, and passports are like 6 months out right now.
I know.
So if I change my passport, then I can't fly. And I'm like, I guess I will keep the last name until
that time comes.
Until I'm ready to travel less than every 6 months.
I know. Well, I'm excited. We're here. We're recording this during her author adventure, which has never been done before. You are the first to podcast in the middle of an author adventure.
And I'm also the first to have a talent show
You
in our author adventure. I'm also the first to hit 47,000 words on day 3 or 4.
Yes.
I'm also the first to go belly dancing on our author adventure. There's a lot of firsts.
There's a lot of firsts.
Yeah.
Robyn hit 35. She hit, what, no,
27,000 day 2.
27,000 words
Day 2.
in her book, day 2.
Then it was like 38 the next day and then 47.
38,000 on day 2. Day 3 was 47,000.
Mm-hmm.
So if anyone doesn't know what my author adventure is, it's where I take an author for 5 days to a location of their choice. We get an Airbnb and we write their whole book in those 5 days. In those 5 days, we also adventure and we have fun. And no matter what, it's always a good time. But this time,
we went in a ice chest, negative 150 degrees. We did that too. I went willingly. I pulled her with me.
You did have to kind of coax me in. That the cryogenics, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Cryogenics, literal freezer that was negative 150. You go in with mittens on your ears, on your hands, on your nose.
And you basically just stay alive for 3 minutes.
3.5.
3.5. We came out, our eyelashes were frozen. Like ice.
The hair on my arms had snowflakes on it. I mean,
but we never felt better.
But we were alive that day.
We were
alive.
I got a potential walking pneumonia because I was screaming in negative 150, but worth it.
Because we were dancing to Iggy Azalea.
That's true.
I mean, who else would you want to be dancing with in a frozen like a frozen
Started
chamber?
From the bottom.
And now I'm rich.
We screamed it the whole time.
It's so good. So we've had a great time. I think my highlight, well, there's been so many, but for me, the minute we both realized that we grew up as like professional dancers.
Literally.
And we were both like, wait, what? Wait, you're a dancer, I'm a dancer. What?
So then we were like, okay, let's do a talent show because we haven't danced. And I'll be honest, I set my expectations lower. Fuck yeah. She started dancing and I literally was like, kept trying to blink my eyes. I'm like, she's incredible. And like, I know good dancers. And I was like, oh, mom, a 41-year-old mom of 5, they honestly didn't see that coming.
Well, then you bust out this hip hop that literally I was like, wait, are we in a music video right now? Like, you guys, we are like these caged professional dancers hidden inside of these moms.
There's like waiting for someone to ask us to dance. We're like, I don't really have it anymore. Then also like, like, totally still have it.
They're like, I haven't danced in like literal, like I do bachata dancing, but I don't consider that the dance of my soul.
Right.
And I haven't not done contemporary dancing for like probably 7 years, maybe 5. I took one class 5 years ago. And so to do that, we ended up spending 4 hours doing a talent show.
No. And then we were like, let's make more music videos and try, like we were dancing the whole night.
For 4 hours.
But it was so good for our soul. And I pulled 14 muscles, but that's fine.
And this is the beauty of this story is that and you wrote 47,000 words in 4 days.
Yeah.
So the proof is in the pudding, which is we're not sitting behind a computer 14 hours a day to bring a book alive. We actually
didn't really write that much that day. I mean, we wrote, 49 million bajillion words,
Yeah,
but it only took us a couple hours.
It only did. And on that day was the day we did our the cold cryo. And then last night, I find this so interesting. So I want to speak to this. And then we'll talk about her book, obviously, because y'all are going to want it. But I don't plan a damn thing on these adventures. Like, you did not have an itinerary. I said, bring these clothes, show up.
Yeah.
And the reason is because God shows me what the author needs real time. So real time, I could watch day 3, everyone's nervous system tanks. So I watched her nervous system start to tank, and God showed me this cryo place. It was like, done. And then right next to it was a yoga place. And I was like, I heard she needs to go here. So walk in, and the woman doesn't know what we're doing. She doesn't know the book that we're writing. And all she said is, you should come tomorrow at 6 p.m. if you want freedom.
And we were like, wait, we're right. That's what my book's about.
So,
what kind of freedom you talk about? The same kind of freedom I'm talking about?
I'm like, what? She's like, belly dancing. What? Okay. Sure. So we book it. We go the next night. It is not belly dancing. It's straight up erotic dancing.
Oh, we were making love with the wall. And I mean, love with our shadows actually is what she had us doing. I was into it. It's been a week for me. I was into it.
We won't say how long it's been for me. But we will say that it woke up a piece that we forgot to put in the book. And so it was essential that we went to that class.
It was like the last chapter.
It was the final thing. It was the final thing that had to go in. And so when we surrender our whole week to God, to go, what is the message that needs to come through? Everything comes together.
Literally everything came together. And we saw, not kidding, anywhere between 25 to 125 modern day miracles. We stopped keeping track. And we just kept saying, how weird. I probably said, we can't say that anymore. How divine. Like this doesn't just happen. These things don't happen when I'm home with my kids and I'm busy and I'm running around. When I've focused my intentions, space, mind, heart to God, it's real clear to see.
Yeah.
When he's like, I'm right here. This.
Yeah.
But what's interesting about it is I've left organized religion. And so there's this facade in my family and my neighborhood that I don't speak with God anymore because I've left. And I'm like, I sat with God for 7 days.
Right.
I just wrote a book.
Yeah.
Through God's words.
Yeah.
And that's in the book, talking about a lot.
Yeah. It's potent. There's something, I call this going to the top of the mountain, where we go to the top of the mountain to hear God, and we commit a whole week to listening. What needs to be written? I really want to highlight that you didn't have one sentence written before you got here.
Yeah. So we never met in real life. We only had 4 to 5 Zoom calls. And I'll be honest, I wasn't giving it my whole intention in those Zoom calls either, because one time I was driving in a car and but I knew my book was coming, and it was just like this knowing of like, I don't even need to prepare. And so I tried a couple times to like gather notes or write down my thoughts or come to the free writing sessions. And I just totally felt like, no, like trust yourself, you know what it is. And I came here with not a single note, not a single thing prepared. And by day 2, the 90% of the book was written within the second day,
which is wild.
Yeah.
And that is a modern day miracle.
Really?
That is an absolute miracle. And it's proof that you came to receive.
Yeah.
And that is why it came through.
Right.
So now let's talk about the book. Let's talk about the book. Why don't you share? We shared the cover today, so you're welcome to share the title. Why don't you tell everyone?
Okay. So it was very hard to choose the title, but essentially we named it, Why Does Taco Bell Give Me the Burns? I'm just kidding. I wanted to see right now what you would do.
You see me,
I was like, she's just really pulled all together this week. I want to see if I can throw a little curveball. Just her face. She's like, oh,
I don't remember this.
A different book. I've been writing one in my bedroom when the door closes.
Wait, the 4 hours?
Yeah. We actually stayed up till 2 a.m.
It's fine.
It's called Rising. Fearless Women Rebelling.
Oh, Fearless Women Rebelling.
And it's already from the topic alone. It's got a little bit of edge, a little bit of polarity. Oh my gosh.
I liked that.
Polarity.
Polarity.
Wow, you would
That's
think
good.
I had the so
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's pretty in your face, which is kind of like me. Like I can do a full blown hip hop dance and post it on the internet and expect like like
Yeah.
this is who I am. And then 10 minutes later be like, I need the utmost respect. Everyone's like, it's a very weird thing, but somehow we do respect you. So it's gonna be, I already know that it's going to be a bestseller, that it's going to be the book that's talked about. It's going to be the next Girl Wash Your Face. It's going to be life-changing. Women are going to be passing it from woman to woman like a torch. It will be talked about. There will be haters who really confront me with my boldness and say, wow, how dare you just say that? And then there will be women who confide in me with how it has changed their life. Yeah. So I'm very confident that this will change the world, and I'm okay walking in knowing I might get a little skin knees on the way in.
Yeah, you will. Yeah. And that's part of the magic, is that what's in this book, you guys, there are pieces that have never been spoken to women. Never. And it's going to disrupt. It's going to disturb some people.
It's going to upset people.
And it's going to fucking liberate women. It will liberate women to the core of their being. It will free them from the shackles that they have been stuck in. And damn, it's just about time.
It's just about time. And it's like, why not write it in the first 4 days of the new year? Like, I'm just waiting until 2025.
Literally my favorite part about this is that you said, I'm not going to set a goal on January 1st that this year I'm going to write a book like everybody does. Because let me tell you, the amount of people that I hear on January 1st said, this is the year I'm going to write a book. No, you were like, fuck that shit. January 1st, I'm going to write my book.
And right now, actually in this season of life where my children's age, coming out of my divorce, I have so much happening in my entrepreneurship world. It was not the ideal time to write a book. In fact, I confided in 10 people and 10 out of 10 said, bad idea. You are too busy to write your book. And I looked at them, I was like, fuck you. Like, do you remember who you're talking to? I've already signed up. I was just asking what you thought. I'm writing the book in approximately 6 weeks from this day. And it's going to be a life changer. And I'm not worried about it because I know if I surrender to God and I surrender to Him channeling my knowledge, my experience, my talents, my blessings, my power, and my hopes and my future, Him and I, we got this.
Yeah. And you know what? In all the books that I have written, none of them came at the opportune time. Actually, books show up when we have so much on our plate, and I'll tell you why. Because if you have so much on your plate, it is a requirement that you surrender. If you have time, you're like, oh, this is the perfect season to write a book. Well, then you're the one who's writing it. Ooh. But if you have so much on your plate, it's literally you have to surrender and be like, God, you got to write it because I don't got time for this.
Like, literally don't have time. I have to write belly dancing tonight. I have to do 4 music videos. Imperative, I stand in an ice chest. I know we all sacrifice a lot to be here, but those are first priority. Make this book come through. And it did, honestly, full trust. I cannot deny.
It totally did. I mean, it's what? It's now 3:50 in the afternoon. We haven't even written today.
At all. I'm not even worried about it.
And I don't think we told this to you guys. She didn't come on this adventure for 1 book. She came for 2.
And I'm not leaving until I get 2. I'm not. So if I'm staying up till the middle of the night. We have to do music videos at 2 a.m. That second book's coming through here. And
I like can feel my chest like tightening today as we're like having Wagyu hamburger.
We're just like eating. She's like, I thought we work about. I'm not worried about it at all.
Like
I just wrote a chapter book in 3 days. So children's book.
Tell them what your children's book is about.
Okay. So this, in all lightheartedness, is very important to me. A lot of what my platform is around women empowerment is protecting and saving children through safety advocacy. So I have a self-defense course. I have a whole program helping to empower women so they take back their power, that they can keep themselves safe and then protect their children. And there just has never been a book that a mother or father can read to their child to kind of help that child step into their power at a young age, while also holding the parent radically accountable that they have to make sure that they're teaching this to their children. So it's called Tricky People, and it's just based off of the name Tricky People I kind of coined, and the idea that stranger danger is the most universal way to teach about predators, but it's completely outdated because 75% of our children are being molested, abused, or sexually assaulted by someone in our close, trusted friends or family. So that really is contradictory because it's not a stranger, which means the child might not know it's bad. They might not ever come and tell. It essentially takes away the responsibility from the parents to not be extra intuitive with themselves when they're dropping kids off at family members, sleepovers. And so I really want to bring this awareness that it's up to us as adults to teach our children. And the first way we can do that is by helping them keep themselves safe too. And that's tapping into their intuition. So it'll be a story I envision. I mean, this could totally change because we haven't started it, but I see a little girl who's walking home from some sort of event or school, and she stops every page. She meets a new person, and they're going to be very digestible characters for these kids, like the mailman, a school teacher, grocer, banker, just like things that are recognizable for them. And it will just show them how they interact with these people, and then kind of show the children in the book which ones are tricky and which ones are safe. And so it'll have a lot of themes of like, maybe the people who were tricky, meaning that they were dangerous or trying to hurt them, look really happy, familiar, or safe, or a family member. It also has to really point out that a stranger could be the one to save our children's life. So there will even be a part that they approach someone who looks scary, dirty, creepy, and that is actually could be a safe person. So it's all about helping the children tap into knowing what it feels like when they approach someone, and then knowing actual signs of this is not okay if someone does this to you. That's a tricky person. And while the parent's reading it to them, it's teaching them at the same time. And it's also then getting them in their awareness of who they're sending their kids to, tapping into their, parental instinct, and taking more accountability of teaching safety.
I love that. And as a mom to 5 kids, and as a survivor of childhood sexual abuse, this is so dear to my heart. Like, these are the things that must be taught. And truthfully, I don't even know how to teach it to my kids.
Right.
And I went through it.
Yeah.
And that's like the thing that I want to keep my kids safe. And so I think your children's book it's just so vital.
Yeah.
Because all of us as parents obviously want to keep our kids safe, but we don't actually know the tools or the words to use to help our kids know how to stay safe, how to understand what their intuition is teaching them. This book is so important.
Yeah. I mean, most of us parents feel a lot of anxiety when it comes to our children. Like, if we talk about kidnapping, if we talk about assault, rape, molestation, it'll bring fear into our children's heart, which is actually the opposite. Your child is already thinking about what happens when they can't find mommy, what happens when someone tries to take me away. They've already thought about that. And by you not giving them answers or solution just causes anxiety. So if you can give them a solution, I know exactly what you do if you can't find mommy. This is what you do. I know exactly what you do if someone tries to take you. You've given them a solution now, which is empowerment and not fear. And so it's actually one of the most important things I'll do on this earth is this book and this mission. And I actually thought both my books were going to be focused around like safety specifically. And it's very clear to me now that all the safety, the most powerful way I could reach women and children is through the children's book. And it will hold just as much or more power than I thought this chapter book would. And the chapter book is a totally different type of freedom and liberation and safety. But the children's book, I'm very, very excited about that. I know it will save lives.
It will. And it will empower parents with their children.
Yep.
Which is super important. And the common theme in both of these books is really the message of like, nobody's going to save you. You have the ability to save yourself.
Yeah. I'm really big on taking radical accountability. If you like know me, hear me, you're probably like, shut up. I literally say radical accountability, and it's do not outsource your power to other people. Like, people think because I'm in a gated community, we have a neighborhood watch, we're safe. Oh, that is so naive. You've just given away your power and turned off your intuition that you might need to be more alert. So it's taking accountability that no police will save you, no man will save you, no security camera will save you. You will save yourself, and I will teach my children from that now. And that can be really in your face for a lot of people. And I take that into my life. Like, it goes into abusive marriages. It goes into leaving or staying in religion. Like, no one is coming to save you. And you have to be prepared, capable, and ready to save yourself in all sorts of scenarios, whether that be abuse, whether that be people pleasing, boundary crossing, safety. Like, you have to take radical accountability. And when you hear that, it's not soft, it's in your face, it hurts, it's really forward facing. And I'm not scared to do it. That's kind of my mission. God was like, come down here and be this goofy, fun, really amazing, powerful woman and tell it how it is. Because it's not going to come out smooth. No one likes talking about molestation, rape, but somehow they like talking about it when I'm in the room. And so I know that that's my mission and purpose. And I have a way of taking really scary, hard topics and totally making it digestible.
I find that to be one of the greatest messages you can give.
Yeah.
Because statistically, what is it? 1 in 4 statistically have been sexually abused.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that told,
right.
that told about it. Most people
never
don't report.
Yeah.
So if it's 1 in 4 are reported, then we for sure have 2, but I would say it's 3 out of 4.
Oh, I think it's every 2. So the RAIN network, which stands for Rape, Abuse, Incest, and Neglect, says that 1 in 4 women will be sexually assaulted in their lifetime, and college age women are 10 times more likely. And that's just what is reported. I have spoken around the United States for 15 years now, and I can count just personally probably in the thousands of women who have told me, whether it's to my face, in my DMs, emails, that they were raped, sexually assaulted, molested, and never told anyone. So if I alone have collected 3,000 first timers, it's 1 in 2.
Yeah. And tell us just briefly why this is your mission.
It's my mission for a lot of reasons. Because I was just called to it, and no matter how anything played out, this situation was always going to happen. But I was brutally sexually assaulted when I was 18, about to turn 19, freshman in college, really safe town. What's interesting about it is I was raised in a family that was very safety conscious. So I was probably the safest girl on campus, and I can confidently say that. I was paranoid. I was parented with fear, and I always was worried something would happen to me. And so fear can sometimes, keep you safer. And also there's a chapter on fear in my book, but I was very aware. So it's interesting that this happened to me. But I was running in the middle of the day, happened to be on a trail where a man who had just gotten out of prison for raping 4 women happened to be on that trail looking for his next victim. And I actually knew he was going to assault me. God had told me, and I let my intuition and my logic go to battle, and logic ultimately won. But I did call 911 before it happened, because I knew something bad was going to happen. Although it was the middle of the day, there's 20 people on the trail, cars going by. Like, it was not middle of the dark alley. Like, it's actually where every woman would feel safe, which is kind of a paradox. And he took me off the trail, brutally beat me, sexually assaulted me, and he's been serving 15 years in prison in Utah. His sentence was 15 years to life. We just hit 15 years, and I was notified he got an extra 8. Well, not an extra. He's still in for 8 more. So in 8 years, then we'll find out again if it's another 8 years or if he gets let out. But from 19 years old, I made it my entire mission to dedicate to safety advocacy, especially women empowerment. And that's trickled in different avenues with business. I'm a serial entrepreneur and motherhood and all these different things. But the main thread is like empowering women to take accountability for themselves. And I get to speak all around the world. I have a course that tens of thousands of women have taken, and it saves lives. And so it's really exciting. What's been funny is my biggest passion is protecting children. And though I wasn't sexually assaulted in this case as a child, I had and here's what's interesting about it. My family will never confront or talk about the fact that our grandpa sexually molested all of his granddaughters. Some of them have come out and it's been a full-blown thing. And then the rest of some of them are like, oh, I was touched inappropriately, but like, I'm not going to say anything. He was old and blah, blah, blah. So there was that in my childhood, but I've never even brought that to light because I'm still actually working through that. It's very hush-hush in my family, and almost like we're told that it never happened, but it did. But the real passion comes from the fact that I have 4 children. So they mean the world to me. And as their mother, being what people dub me as a safety guru, I still want to make sure that I'm doing my very best. So I'm like, if the person who is teaching and educating everyone still feels like she needs more tools and support to teach her own children, then I can only imagine the everyday mother who never got safety education through her parent. And another big thread in my book that has nothing to necessarily do with safety is we cannot expect women to empower their children when they're not empowered. And that goes through everything, like body confidence, self-love. But if you do not know anything about self-defense, you're not going to be teaching your kids. In fact, you're going to be projecting your fear.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping that my big book like fixes something in like the women and the adults. And then the little book is just like more for parents and kids.
Yeah. Oh, and it will. And the thing first I just want to acknowledge you. Like, that's intense what you've been through. And for many, that could have destroyed their life. But instead of you choosing to let this horrific experience destroy your future, you have used it as fuel.
Yeah. It actually created my future.
It did.
And I'm grateful for it.
Yeah.
I would never go back and change it. I would go through that again and again if I could even just save one woman's life. And what's been so beautiful is I get to be in the opportunity where people can come back and let me know how it impacted them. And so I'm constantly flooded with DMs, messages, emails of people that literally their life was saved. Like something you taught me in your course, something you taught me on your reels truly saved my daughter's life. With Man's now in prison. Truly kept me like, I'm like, what better, like what more meaningful work could I do outside of motherhood?
Right.
So grateful that I got to be chosen to spread this message.
Yeah. And I have witnessed this week sitting with you as we listen to your book and you bring through this content, how important the chapter book is going to be for women. How often as women we allow ourselves to stay in situations that aren't really ideal for us because we don't know how to be empowered.
Yeah.
Empowered to leave abuse, empowered to leave neglect, empowered to own our sensuality and own our passions and own our gifts. Like this book, it is here to move a new path for women.
Yeah. And something that just came in, which will probably totally just be one of those downloads, like that was from God. I feel like the word empowered, like EM, is like you have to wait until someone gives you the tools, like the book or the class. I want women to stand in power. IN. That's again, your accountability. You stand in your power. No one gives it to you. You always had it. I don't need a book to be empowered. I don't need a course. I don't need a coach. I need to step in my power. And then all those things are great to just share and grow bigger. But I want this book to not empower them. It's not the book. I want it to fuel something inside of them to find their own power and stand in power.
That needs to go in the book.
That needs to go in the book. We need to go. We need to go write that in.
Yeah, that's really good.
The one thing you should learn about me is once it comes out once, it doesn't come out twice.
No.
So we're gonna have to watch this back and that actually shows that I truly sit and flow. I have a podcast of my own and I will never redo an episode twice because it comes straight through my heart. I never take notes and I don't even talk about it a second time because I know it'll never be as good as the first.
Never.
Because whatever comes out was out and then I'm like, I don't even know what I said.
Yeah, that I'll remember that one. That's really, really good. In power. So we need to go right. Is there anything that you want to share about this week that maybe wants to come through?
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, first of all, if you ever want to write a book, you absolutely need to use Kira. I would never tell anyone to try it on their own, to do a different experience. Use Kira. And here's why. And I've got a lot of people on my Instagram like, is she writing your book for you? Is she a ghostwriter? No. I wrote the book, but she stood next to me and championed me. She supported me. She encouraged me. She watched when I needed a little bump. She also sat on her computer and started going through my theirs, and theirs because they're all twisted wrong and I don't know how to spell 2 and 2. But outside of that, I feel like, at least for me, if I wanted to write a book at the highest power and capacity that I can live in, then I had to do it next to someone who lives in that same power. this is a woman I look up to. This is someone who lives at a frequency and surrenders to God in ways I do. And so in being in her presence and having her support and love and guidance, I was able to channel at my highest degree. I'm not going to go home and be like, oh, that wasn't like my best work. Or, oh, I like feel weird. I literally am like, I fucking knocked it out of the park. Nothing needs to change when I get home. And that is better than I ever thought it could have gone. And that is because of the energy she brings. That is because of her experience. And that is because her belief in her authors. So I would say, absolutely, if you feel like you are called to write a book, write it. And I'm going to steal her words. Books are just babies, or books just need bodies. Like I always, from the time I was little, knew I would be an author. It wasn't something that I saw Kira and was like, I'm going to write a book. And maybe that's your experience. Go for it. You like follow that. You need to write a book. But if you have, like, my life has never led me to people or places or businesses that like a book, like, but I knew I needed to write one. And when I found her, I was like, this is it. Like, I'm really into like spirituality and speaking with God and Reiki and energy work and cold plunging and using my body as a vessel and my heart as the source. And like, that's her method. So like, if that calls to you, that's a perfect match. And it was so fun. Like I like, part of me like wants to ask, like, but for reals, like you say this about everybody. Like, I think we're really best friends. Like, I think this is like specialer than others, but like, I know I can't say that, but like, I feel like it is.
We definitely have a special connection.
Yeah, we definitely do. But guess what? She makes everybody feel that way. So I already know that. You'll have an amazing experience, and everyone has magic and wisdom that needs to bring to the world. So don't stop keeping your books in. Like, I think we overthink the process too. Like, I have to have this massive Instagram to write a book. I have to be a CEO. I have to have made 7 figures. No, actually, you could just be a mom with 1 kid in your house and write a book that changes the world. You could be single, never been married, work a 9 to 5 and still change the world. Like, if you have a book and you know it's going to help, start getting those balls rolling and reach out to Kira. And when the time is right, your book needs to come.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been an absolute honor. And I will say this about you, is that the message that you wrote, I don't think there's a human on this planet who would be brave enough to launch it. And I'm going to tell you guys that I've published over, I don't even know, I should know. I know we have over 120 authors, if not 150 at this point. Lots of authors. We've published a lot of books. I've never been nervous to publish a book. Until now. And that makes me so excited.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so happy. I'm nervous. And it's because you're saying the things that women need to hear.
And everyone's too afraid to say them.
Everyone's too afraid to say it. Everyone's afraid to rock the fucking boat. Everyone's like, so afraid to make people mad, to hurt people's feelings. And you're like, stop.
Yeah.
Like, abuse ends now. Women, you're not in your power.
Yep.
Take accountability and let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, that's my personality. You'll hear it in the book. Like, I'm not afraid what people think of me. I'm not afraid for backlash. I almost like bring it the fuck on. The more opposition, the bigger the book goes. Like, I'm ready for this to get out no matter the cost.
Yeah.
And I know that is a gift of mine, because if you were to talk to every person who's ever met me and they had to choose one word, they would all say I'm brave.
And that is what I would call you, as one of the bravest women I've met. It has been my absolute deepest honor to sit with you this week. And this is just the beginning for us.
Literally.
This is just the beginning.
We might even write a book together.
Probably.
Yeah, we probably will. You'll probably be done in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
How we are.
But there is something around your story and my story that match so perfectly, that when I helped you hear this book, it was like I healed. And I know there are many women whose hearts and souls and DNA, actual DNA coding, will heal from this book.
I agree. So, like, no pressure, but I hope you guys like the book.
No pressure. You will there. You guys, it's,
You're gonna love it.
impossible not to. She's funny as hell. She's candid. She's real, and she's not gonna shoot you any shit.
I mean, we literally talk about the 5 most taboo topics: sex, church, orgasms, the patriarch, and I don't know,
Abuse.
and abuse. Like right there, it's like people don't like to talk about those on their own. I'm like, wow, let's put all 5 in the book plus 10 more. Like, here we go.
Hey, if we're in the water,
It's gonna be the book. Like, if I'm already drowning, push me under.
Yeah, we're already there. Let's
My
go.
first 2 paragraph already says my mom sucks. So really, at that point, hold me under. I'll talk about sex, orgasms. I'll talk about
it's all
women's
the
slavery.
things.
Yeah, so it's
Women's
pretty
slavery.
forward. Yeah, really, that
know.
is like a huge.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talk about women's slavery in quite a bit of this book.
Yeah.
Like, break the fucking shackles. Like, let's go.
Yeah, I straight up, like, this is so bold and I'm okay to say it. I straight up feel like if you are choosing to stay in a marriage that you have been called to leave by God, you are being a prostitute. You are staying. No, that's my book. And that's why people are like, oh shit. I'm like, come at me. Why are you staying? For money or sex? You know you were supposed to leave. You've been asked by God and you're ignoring it. Is that prostitution? I think it is. And I can say that because I was a prostitute in my own life. And that's why I can say it, is because it's all from my personal experience. I share how I was a prostitute in my own marriage. And I take radical accountability for the fact I stayed for money. I stayed for leisure. I stayed because I didn't want to face trauma. I stayed because I didn't want to have to split up my finances. I didn't want to have to be a single mom. I was a prostitute in my own life.
And that's how we're ending this.
Yep.
That's how,
Yep.
and that's how this shit goes.
Yeah.
But I wanna say this, is that a lot of the times, and you really highlight this in the book, a lot of the times we soften truths. We soften it to make it like feel better, or like not shake you too much. And you know what? Like, that's a disservice that's happened for women, is that, I mean, I know that for a lot of my life, I waited for someone to tell me I could leave my marriage. For a long time, I just waited for someone to say, it's okay for you to leave your marriage. And the truth is that if we all sit around waiting for the okays, it's okay for you to leave a church. It's okay for you to leave a marriage. It's okay for you to go after your dreams.
Friendship.
Right. It's okay.
It's okay for you to draw boundaries with your mother. It's okay for you to not be close to your family.
Right. And it's okay for you to be fucking loud and every color of the rainbow and every color and flavor and everything that might be too much for humanity. It's okay. And the truth is, you don't need us to tell you we're okay. The book says you tell you that you're okay to do these things. In your power, you can do it. And that is what I love about you. These are the things. That sucks to hear that we were, to be a prostitute, to give sex in a marriage in return for the safety of a home and money, but there's no love. That is prostitute. And you know what? That sucks. Because there are many women who live that fucking life.
You and me included, which is why we can say it. I take accountability that I was a prostitute in my own life. 100%.
It's a hard one for me to say out loud.
Yeah.
But you know what? There was a lot of years where I stayed in a marriage that was toxic for him and me. It was toxic for him. I watch him and he's so much happier. It was toxic for both of us. And I stayed for the safety. But the truth is that I am the safest in my power. And that is what your book brings.
Yeah.
Your book brings women into safety within themselves.
Yep.
So
he needs to go in the book too.
whew, you guys want to read this book?
Yeah, you
Actually,
do.
you guys want to join the rebellion?
Yeah. Another word. I'm like, what is the most polarizing world? Rebellion. That's what we're doing.
The rebellion against sameness, the rebellion against inner
The
slavery.
rebellion against living below your potential. The
Yeah.
rebellion against allowing your family to mistreat you because they're your family. The rebellion about taking shit from, anyone because of they're my neighbor, they're my friend, they're my husband, blah, blah. No, we're rebelling. Once we step in power, it's actually not a rebellion. It's actually what unshackles us, but to everyone else, it'll look as a rebellion.
Well, damn, we were supposed to end a little bit ago because we got 2 books that we're working on. But you just trying to end it?
Yeah.
We gotta leave. Hey, prostitution. Hi, have
See
a
you
good
later.
day.
Yeah.
Let's soften it a bit.
I gotta go. No, because we don't soften. That's the first message I told her this week. I said, listen, we don't soften. I don't soften. I've done it for so long. I was essentially the catching mix for everything. Someone threw a ball, they caught it, and I made sure it didn't feel the impact. And I'm not doing that anymore.
No.
And I wish someone would have just been bored with me sometimes on truths in life.
True. We're not going to soften it. Get uncomfortable with being uncomfortable. That's how you move forward. That's how you expand. And I'm going to put in the show notes the link to her course. Every woman needs to take it. I am going to take it.
Let's get you a discount code. If you type in JOA, all caps, JOA, you can get $25 off.
Dang. There you guys go. Okay. You have a discount code right there. Take her course. Feel safe. Feel safe as a woman and as a man. Whoever's listening, feel safe. I will also put her info. Your Instagram is
A Fly on My Wall. Robyn Marie Williams Warner. A little long and drawn out, kind of like me.
It's like a princess. I like it. I like it. Feels right.
Maybe I'll live
Feels
in a
right.
castle one day.
Yeah. Feels right. And then anything else? Your website?
Robyn Warner. No. Yeah, I need to change my name. RobynWarner.co. Just so you know.
Awesome.
And I'd love for you to check it out because it's brand new and it's really cool.
It is the coolest.
It's like, like when you have really great accomplishments in life, you're like, my kids, I'm like, my website. Please go look at it. It's really cool. I've spent so much months. People don't understand copyright or when you have to build a website, I can't be like, hey, website designer, write my tone, my personality, my history. Like I did it.
Yeah.
It actually took
so
more
good.
work than the book.
It's so good.
Yeah. You have to go and check it out.
Check out her website, go get her course, look at her Instagram, and you have to go watch all the reels from our week here. We have talent show reels up, us dancing together, crunking. We got some good stuff going on. I always ask my guests to close their eyes, drop in their heart, and ask to receive one message that we're going to give everyone who's right here, right now.
The first step to finding full confidence in your power is loving yourself first. And there's a lot of work to be done in there. It's layered and it's long and it's generationally fucked up. But that's where I want you to start.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you
Yeah.
for having me.
Here. And this is not the end of Kira and
No.
Robyn, just so you know.
Maybe we'll start a podcast one day.
Probably.
Yeah.
Wouldn't doubt it. Wouldn't doubt
Or
it.
maybe we'll start a series of talent shows. We'll dance.
Damn, that is
Yes!
talent show.
They're like, I can't wait to see this middle-aged mother do her lyrical this week.
Oh no, I just snorted.
Wait.
That's when you know.
Yep.
Actually, wait, hold on. This is coming in. I know we said it's over, but hold
I know.
on.
So this is actually us. Stop. We have 4 more books to write. Hold, please.
Wait. So this should probably be a TV show. There's So You Think You Can Dance? So You Think You Can Dance talent show mom edition. What the fuck? Why isn't that existing?
So you think you can menopause while you dance? So you think you can dance menopause? That would get ratings.
I actually feel like it's like So You Think You Can talent show.
Oh, you think you can clock? Okay. So you think you can jig? So you think let's do it?
I'm done.
Done.
It's coming out end of
Coming out.
2024.
We'll be sponsored by TLC. That feels right. Me too. See, I channeled that. I could have picked Nickelodeon, Disney,
watching waterfall.
well, History Channel, but I chose PLC.
This is good. Hope you guys had fun on this podcast.
Yeah, you did. You'll be
This
back
is
from
a real good damn time.
Oh, I know the podcast. They can.
Oh, what is that?
It's called The Community. COMEUNITY. No pun on the unity.
I like that.
Follow.
I like that. Go follow her.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna put this on mine too.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Ta-da. All right, guys. I'm gonna leave you with my message, which is this. Sometimes we think something's gonna be really hard. Sometimes we have anxiety over it. We think that it's gonna take forever, but it can actually be like the miracle of the water turning into the wine. It can happen in the twinkling of an eye. And all that is required is massive amounts of faith mixed with fearless action that produces the miracle that you seek. There you go, my friends. I will see you next time.